Welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals halftime show. I'm Johnny Venerable, Bo Brock, Britton Golden, live from your BetMGM at the Great Lawn at State Farm Stadium. Wake up, everybody. The first half is over. Slam the tune time on your alarm clock. We got two more halves to go of this one. 13-0. The Browns lead. We thought it could get bad. Did we think it could get worse offensively? You be the judge of that, Bo Brock.
Yeah, I'll be the judge, and I think it's easy for anybody to say that it's bad. I mean, we've seen poor quarterback play, some of it rewarded, one ball tipped and it falls into the arms of a receiver for a touchdown. Deshaun Watson just can't throw the ball, and then you've got Clayton Tune running for his life, and when he does have time, he rips it. As Jonathan Gannon said, he's going to rip it. He ripped it into the arms of a defender. It's been bad, Britton, and like trying to find how this team could potentially turn things around. It would have to come out of nowhere. It would have to come out of nothing that we saw from the first half. Because we just saw a really bad performance by the Cardinals offense.
Yeah, they're going to have to come out with a completely different offense. Because what we saw in the first half was disgusting.
Yeah.
The interception was terrible.
Yep.
And we just been talking about a previous backup quarterback that's thrown terrible interceptions. Hollywood was wide open on that, and you sail. You were not even under pressure, seriously, and you throw that thing 10 feet over his head right into the chest of a defensive player. Quarterback play is getting worse as the weeks go on.
Yep.
And we thought hopefully we'd get a change with a new quarterback, and I feel like it's not gotten any better. So they've got to figure something out. Petsy's got to start drawing some shit up. There's got to be something that changes. Like, this is misdirection, anything.
Well, they crossed midfield on the opening possession. You're like, okay, maybe they've got something in mind. And then after the scripted plays were gone for Clayton Tune, it was a disaster. Missing Hollywood Brown wide open. I also don't love the play calling by Drew Petzing. Too many possessions starting with a pass that set up Clayton Tune not for success. Like, this game, you needed to muck it up with field position, run the football. Like, look what happened. The Cardinal defense has been playing well again. The only touchdown allowed was on a short field because Clayton Tune threw that pick. Other than that, they've given up two field goals, one of which was gifted at the end of the first half because of a bad penalty called on Cameron Thomas. The defense is doing its job, and I feel like you're going to allow Cleveland now with a 13-point lead to not have Deshaun Watson throw the football in the second half. They're going to try to run the football. The Cardinals need to muster up an offensive scoring drive in the second half to some way, shape, or form because Watson is just begging to turn the football over. But you've played exactly into Cleveland's hands, and I think as poor as Clayton Tune has played, I love Gannon and Drew Petzing and Nick Ross. You have played into the Cleveland Browns' hand. Like, the coaching for the Cardinals, unfortunately, has let the team down today. I know there's a big talent discrepancy, but the minute you traded Joshua Dobbs away, a lot of the fan base thought you were conceding this game. And right now it looks like that.
This glass it's half empty, it feels like, when you look at it, right? I mean, it's tough to see any kind of optimism here, but and you're skeptical that they can get any juice offensively going on in the second half after what you just witnessed. And it's like everything that could have gone the Cleveland Browns' way went their way.
Yeah.
Officiating, absolutely horrid.
Yeah.
The phantom pick call on Hollywood Brown, just retweeted video of that. I don't know where that came from. That was absolutely brutal. That was on a third down play. It was the biggest offensive play that would have happened for the Arizona Cardinals and put them in the Browns territory. And it's just completely wiped off the face of the earth. The luck goes in the Browns direction with the tip pass that falls into the hands of Amari Cooper. And they're still only up 13-0.
It's unbelievable.
The Browns have been equally as putrid almost on offense except for like one drive. The turnovers continue to kill the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, we've now seen 4 consecutive turnovers of any capacity that have been cashed in on short fields for touchdowns. Not field goals, touchdowns. I mean, this is dating back to the Los Angeles Rams game. Like, if you put the opposing offense on a short field, it's money in the bank for them right now.
Britton, you think about like the psyche of this locker room right now where you've got Kyler Murray all week saying, I'm ready to play. I can play. And if Kyler Murray plays this game, it's certainly not 13-0. And you look much more viable, I would assume, than with Clayton Tune. You go into that locker room, if you're Jonathan Gannon, like, do you feel like he's got some explaining to do, or is it just kind of understood, like, we're just going to take our lumps today, but for better or for worse?
I know as a player, you don't want to think, hey, we've got to just sit here and take our lumps. That's not what I'm
That's
coming
what it
out here to
feels
play.
like, though.
I understand that. And it looks like that way.
Yeah.
It looks like they're just playing to get to week 10 so we can get Kyler back. We just threw Clayton Tune in the game because we traded away Josh Dobbs, and we didn't have faith in anybody else to go out there. So it's definitely got to be demoralizing, especially the defense. The defense is doing this week in and week out. Yes, they're giving up points, but they're on the field all game long, every game they've played. They're holding strong. The defensive line is getting pressure. I mean, it's not like Deshaun Watson is just sitting back there with all day to throw.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do at this point. I mean, I tried to say it earlier and say get the ball out of your hands quick. Yes, there has been some horrendous calls, especially when we're on offense. I mean, the pick play, like you mentioned, I mean, I tweeted it. I was like, I think some of these refs need to be investigated after this game. Like that. I've seen pick plays get called for a pass interference penalty, but not when nobody even gets touched. I mean, so we've gotten no help on that side, but the offense looks bad. It looks like the play calling's bad. There's nothing that's setting anybody up for success. It's just bad.
Let's get to some of these super chats if we could. Damon Dog, this is from Matthew. Does B.J. Ojulari have any tackles this season, much less any sacks? He had a sack last week. I didn't see his name. I wouldn't even know if he was playing. Was he good in college? I mean, he started for this team today and had a holding penalty drawn on the Browns' offensive tackle. So, I mean, like, everybody for the defense, for the most part, I think is performing today. Obviously, Ojulari, slow start, was hurt this offseason. But I would argue, Matthew, he's been playing his best football as of late. I think, again, all the attention right now is on this putrid offense for the Arizona Cardinals. Self-inflicted. I mean, you traded away Dobbs. He's got a touchdown today. I argued tooth and nail. Like, Dobbs was awful last week, but he give you a better chance than Clayton Tune today, and I think we're seeing that. Let's get to some more of these super chats. If we could, Damon Dog, our guy AZ89, I hope everyone screaming for Tune are happy now. Thank God K1 returns on Monday. There was a big segmented part of the fan base that thought Clayton Tune should have started the season for the Arizona Cardinals this year. I mean, he was okay in the preseason. He was better than Colt McCoy, which was not saying much. Joshua Dobbs, as bad as he was last week, and he needed to be pulled from that game, is better than Clayton Tune right now. Like, we're seeing it. Minnesota just scored. Joshua Dobbs was forced into the game for Minnesota. He's led a touchdown drive. Like, Clayton Tune looks like a practice squad-esque level player against the Cleveland Browns today.
He does. He looks like a fifth-round rookie that didn't play at a Power 5 school, that hasn't seen a defense anywhere close to this caliber of a defense. I mean, you're talking about he didn't see Alabama, he didn't see Georgia, and now he's seeing some of the best of what the NFL has to offer. One of the best defensive players on the planet breathing down your neck. It's tough. Nine net passing yards for the Arizona Cardinals offense if you factor in the sacks. 22 on the game for Clayton Tune, but if you factor in the yardage lost on sacks, 9 yards, under double digits in net passing yards for this Arizona Cardinals offense. And it's interesting. I mean, this is a big ask. This is a big ask for Jonathan Gannon, and I think that he'll be obliged by the fan base, by the roster, to just punt on this game, because that's really what it feels like. I mean, it's a big leap of faith that you're taking with JG, and I don't disagree with us taking it and understanding what's on the other side of this, right? With Kyler Murray looming, but man, did they save the toughest watch for last? And, we were criticized for maybe our lack of faith in Clayton Tune, but the organization instilled that, right? We saw Clayton Tune for 3 preseason games. You saw some good things, but for the most part, you saw a raw skill set that's not ready for the NFL, not ready to see playing time against NFL defenses. And it's proving, that I think Monty Ossenfort and JG and Petzing and the decision makers to be right to pivot off of okay, if it's not Colt McCoy, it's not Clayton Tune right now.
Right.
And that's I don't think I think that's unfair that we were just going off of what the coaching staff is like. They were very as reluctant as you could be, stubborn and dug in that Clayton Tune wasn't ready, and they're proven right.
Well, I want to get to this next super chat, and then I want to get to you, Britton. AZ Fan 1998, friend of the program, $2. Thank you so much. Petzing got to stop. The screen's tired of it. Petzing has not been good today. No. And again, you're not going to be able to judge him fully until K1's back under center. Britton, and that's the big point of contention right now, is that you started this week. Gannon and company said if it's not going to be Tune, it's going to be Kyler Murray. Both probably will be active. Then they had to walk that back. And now we're tired of the dog and pony show. Like most people, I think, would assume right now, Kyler Murray, we know, is going to be back next week starting for this team. I don't want to do another 3 to 4 days of potential competitive advantage. Who's going to play? What are they going to do? Like, do you think Jonathan Gannon needs to be forthright with this fan base in the post-game press conference today, regardless of how this game ends, and say, like, the plan right now is to start Kyler Murray next week?
It has to.
Yeah.
I mean, at the point where we're going right now with the back-and-forth bullshit all week long, oh, he's healthy, he's ready to play, we're not going to play him.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we're going to suit him up because we traded away Josh Dobbs. It's either going to be him or Clayton Tune. We're going to come out. We don't see him in uniform at all, right? And it's come to the point where now it needs to be out. If you want fans to show up next week at State Farm Stadium, you better come out here and say Kyler Murray's playing this game. Because nobody's going to come to State Farm Stadium and watch this bullshit that we're watching against a Cleveland Brown. Like, it's not saying anything. They have the best defense, especially third down defense in the NFL, but, like,
you're not competitive.
You're not competitive at all. You're not even giving Tune a chance, and anybody a chance.
It is irresponsible with the state of this roster, and this is what we thought before the season. That's why they made the move for Dobbs, to take a fifth-round rookie from a non-Power 5 school and thrust him into this environment when the Cardinals have this second toughest schedule for the rest of the year. And it felt like when they traded Dobbs earlier this week that they were conceding on this game. And I didn't want to believe it, but that's what it feels like. It feels like they're punting on this game. I don't want to punt on this last super chat here. Dirt Bike Boy 714, friend of the program. Thank you so much. $4.99. O-line is failing this team. I've had it up to here with Drew's play calling. Can't set up Clayton Tune by running into the hands of the defensive line. And again, I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think there's a lot of truth to this team is so one-dimensional. It's easy for Cleveland to telegraph what they want to do offensively. There's no running lanes to begin with. You're down DeMercado. You're down Michael Wilson. But what this has opened up to, Bo Brock, criticism from the fan base of the coaching staff really for the first time this year.
Yeah, and they're going to have to, once they get to full strength for this roster come Week 10, they're going to have to prove a lot of the people who now have doubt in their minds,
there is
skepticism,
doubt.
right?
Yep.
They're going to have to prove them wrong next week, as early as next week. But, okay, you get your mulligan. This is it, right? You just...
You have no other. You can't go anywhere else after this game.
There's no
breakfast
balls.
for air.
Nope. I mean, you just shanked it off the
So we're
first
playing
tee.
breakfast ball on hole 17 right now. Is what we're doing. This is fucking ridiculous.
It's demoralizing. It's embarrassing. Will the second half be better? That's for you to judge. We're going to be here regardless. BetMGM, the post-game show immediately following quarters 3 and
Defense
4.
already balling. It's just third down.
A lot to dissect in this second half. We'll see you on the post-game show.
We all silly like the mayor.